What's everybody, my name is Scott Waters and welcome to No Life to Metal. I'm going to be opening up a box today, a big box that came from Germany, from Jürgen Aumann. Jürgen, who does VC videos and who I've worked out giant trade with. He's actually got a box coming to him as well from me, and I'm sure he'll be doing a video as well. So, but I'm going to go ahead and get right into this box. I started opening the box because it was a huge box, and I could tell that he like taped several boxes together, and there was like boxes in boxes, so I kind of went into this one right away, and so I don't know what's in here yet. I just know there's two smaller boxes and a couple of shirts that are inside out, so I don't even know what those are yet. And as well, I'm gonna, after this video, I also received a box from Brazil and a box from Portugal that I've already opened, and I've gone through those two boxes and I've listened to it, so I'm going to be doing a vinyl update of those two boxes in my next video as well. But first I want to get into this box to see what's in here. So like I said, there's a couple shirts. I'll get into those last. I'm going to get into, there's a little package of stuff here. I like stuff. As Greg the Egg from Canada would say, is rock hall stuff. And I dig stuff like this, so let's check out what's in here before we get into the vinyl boxes. I knew about this one because this is one I've been looking for a long time. A High Roller Records release. This is Ram 7-inch for Under the Scythe, and Evil. And I don't know if Evil was a cover. I wonder if Evil was a cover of like a Merciful Fate cover. I don't know. I've never owned this one, so I don't know. Doesn't say on here. Doesn't say on here. Let's see if there's an insert in here. There is an insert in here. Yes. So Evil is a cover of Merciful Fate. So that's really cool. Looking forward to checking that out. So Ram, one of the best from the new wave of traditional heavy metal bands. I love this band. I've got everything now, including this, that they've put out. So very cool. That was one of the ones that he said he could find for me, and I'm glad he did. There's also this looks like a catalog. Yes, this is the Hellion Records catalog. And Hellion Records got a lot of great stuff. My goodness. This is probably a catalog full of everything I ever wanted. But the problem is that I wouldn't have anywhere to put it. I'd have to buy a new house to put my stuff in. And this is cool. I love stuff like this. So I collect set lists and stuff like that. And so Jürgen plays, is vocalist actually in German thrash metal band Repent, who's been around since I think the early 90s. Great band. As a matter of fact, their last album came out in 2019 and it made my top 30. So, but anyhow, this is a set list from them. Love this kind of stuff, and Jürgen, if you're into this kind of stuff too, I have lots of extra Ultimatum ones. I'd love to send you one. But there's other stuff coming to you in the package anyhow. Oh, this is cool. Another new wave of traditional metal band is Torpedo, and this is one of their set lists. Obviously, very used set lists, which I love them when they're actually, you know it's been used. I've got ones from like Ultimatum that have footprints on them because they're actually on the stage. It's just cool that they actually used as part of something. These are awesome. I collect buttons too, as everybody knows. So here is a Repent button, and there's actually two of them in here. So that's awesome. Those will be going into one of my pin boxes in my room. There's a couple posters in here and some little mini handbills for Repent and Torpedo. Again, I love this kind of stuff. I have I have scrapbooks full of that kind of junk. And funny thing is, it really comes in handy because I've had a lot of stuff that I've collected over the years that have ended up going into designs that I've done for different bands. So very cool. And then finally, a big poster that's folded and autographed. Very cool. So a German poster for let's see who's the headliner here. I guess the Dead Lord, Repent. Man, I cannot read that name. B-L-I-T maybe Blitzen. It's hard to read that one, but. And then the bottom one is Coronation, maybe probably Coronation, yeah. Very cool. Is there a year on this thing? I don't see a year, but still, I love that kind of stuff, and it's autographed, and that's even more awesome. Alright, so let's get into the vinyl. There is actually a couple boxes here. As you will see, the box he's getting is rather large as well. And there may be some CDs in here as well, I don't know. Hey, we worked out a pretty large trade of stuff. Both of us are huge into thrash and also into prog. So he was able to get me some prog stuff that I can't get here. I was able to get him a few records that he can't get there. So it's very cool. I have a feeling from the amount of stuff that's in here, there's probably some surprises I didn't know about. So, oh, this is cool. VANDENBERG, ALIBI, Japanese pressing. Nope, didn't have this one. That's awesome. I don't actually have any VANDENBERG on vinyl. I do have it on CD, and if you go to the nolifetilmetal.com website, there is reviews of all their stuff, but like I said, on CD, not vinyl. And to go along with that one, here's the second album from VANDENBERG. Was it Heading for an Alibi? Heading for a Storm. Where did I get Alibi from? Oh, from the other one. Heading for a Storm. Second album from VANDENBERG. So melodic 80s heavy metal stuff. And I think this one is, yep, the very first VANDENBERG. So that's awesome. So that's all 3 VANDENBERG albums. Of course, Adrian Vandenberg was just a total shredder. That stuff is very melodic. I mean, if you're into stuff like Europe, you might be into stuff like Vandenberg. He went on to play for quite a while with Whitesnake. Ah, nice. Second album from 2004, this Disciple of Decline from Repent. Very happy to have this. I really like Repent. I mean, I kind of expected I'd like them because they're a thrash band. But man, that album, what was it, Condemned to Reality? Damn, I can't remember the name of the album. Their album from last year, I just listened to it over and over and over again. That's fantastic stuff. Just raw, aggressive, heavy thrash. They weren't trying to do anything like, you know, different, or they weren't trying to mix genres together to come off as some kind of, you know, I don't know. There's just a lot of bands that kind of mix different styles together because they think that makes them, you know, more creative or whatever. No, they're just playing good, solid thrash metal. I mean, you know, you think of a good blues artist, you know, and a blues artist plays the blues. There's nothing wrong with that. He doesn't have to throw, you know, rap elements in to make it good. Neither does a thrash band have to do, you know, throw in some other weird elements to make it good. So, just solid thrash metal. Speaking of that album, this is Condemned to Fail, and it is autographed. That's sweet. And let's just check the vinyl color. Yep, he mentioned this to me, I think, because that's why I immediately thought to check the vinyl. Look at that. So got kind of an emerald green. Very cool, very pretty. Thank you very much. I'm real excited about that because as I've been sitting here spouting off how much I like that album, there it is, autographed by the whole band. I may actually put that one up on the wall, which means somebody else is coming down. All right, next up. Oh, this is awesome. Eloy live. Fantastic, man. You just don't see this kind of stuff in the United States. Eloy albums just don't show up. I recently received their first album as it was reissued here, and a buddy of mine, the Metal Theologian, sent me a copy in the mail. But man, this is just fantastic. Looks to be a double album, like a lot of 70s albums were. On the Harvest label. Yeah. Gatefold. Man, I'm excited about this one. I'm excited about all this stuff. I'm just a music geek, what can I say? Again, this is on the Harvest label. Here's the I can get it apart here. Maybe it is a single album. Let's see here. No, it's a double album. It's just in a It's just got a double sleeves here to keep it from getting beat up, I suppose. Yeah, that's what it is. So there you go. So there's the, you know, the Harvest label. Whenever I see that label, it immediately reminds me of Pink Floyd, just because when I was a kid, I had a bunch of, you know, late 60s and early 70s Pink Floyd albums that had that Harvest label on it. So, oh man. Eloy, METROMANIA, another one I don't have on my list. So he just went through my list and grabbed things that I wanted. Fantastic artwork, I can tell you right now. That's a Rodney Matthews, or someone trying to be Rodney Matthews. Rodney Matthews is just an awesome fantasy artist. This is some of my favorite album covers. Let's see here. I think it would say somewhere on there, artwork by Rodney Matthews. I knew it would. His stuff is just so recognizable. Just awesome. You know, futuristic kind of stuff, fantasy artwork. Very cool. Eloy, METROMANIA. This one's got to be from the 80s. I don't see the year on here. German pressing, again on the Harvest label, 1984. So yeah, 80s as I suspected. More Eloy. This is Performance. Again, German prog rock, fantastic stuff. I guess obviously being in Germany, this stuff is much easier to find than it is here. I mean, you don't find them out, you know, in stores anywhere. And if you want to pick most of these, they don't even show up even on vinyl on like eBay that often. And when they do, they're, you know, ridiculously priced. So I'm really glad to have these. I mean, you don't even know how excited I am about this. Eloy. All right, so move this box out of the way here. Time to Turn. This is one of their classics from 70. Let's see if I remember the year on this thing. It might have been 70. I don't know. I don't see the year. I don't know. It was kind of the end of the 70s, so probably around 79, 80, maybe even 81, 82 in that area. But generally considered one of their classic albums. Really cool artwork. Love the angel with the sword there. Time to Turn. Alright, hang on a second here. I'm gonna have an avalanche in a second. Oh, he just hooked me up, man. Eloy colors. Again on the Harvest label, and again with the gatefold. Very cool. And oops. Oh, these two. And there's two more Eloy albums here. And these may or may not be upgrades, but the note says he knows I have these, but since they're so hard to get here, he said I mean, this is how much of a nice guy he is, you know. He sent these along and said, pass them on to somebody who else might enjoy them. So this is Silent Cries and Mighty Echoes and Ocean, and these are both brilliant German progressive rock albums. Fantastic stuff. Eloy, great cover too. This one actually is actually both of them are gatefolds, and they kind of open up to the full artwork. So there you go, Eloy. This was definitely from the 70s. This was 77. And just when you think it's done, it's not. Second box of records. I had no idea he sent that many Eloy records, but that's just fantastic. So Eloy and Repent in that box. I know at least one, maybe two records in here because he contacted me, asked me if I needed these, and I'm like, yeah. All right, let's see what we got here. Another giant pile of records. And a CD. This is an EP from Iced Earth, one of the few EPs of Iced Earth I don't have, but this looks like 3 Iced Earth Dystopia live, basically. And no, I don't have this. Like I said, it's an EP. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tracks. So it must have been a promotional thing. Rock Hard Magazine. So very cool. I don't have this one. So I'm a huge. One of my favorite bands out of the 90s was Iced Earth. I mean, they really came around in the late 80s, but I mean, they were a 90s band. When metal was, you know, a dirty word in the 90s, it was bands like Iced Earth and Hammerfall and Gravedigger that were, you know, holding that straight up forward heavy metal banner high. So I love them. Yeah, I knew what this was going to be. This is fantastic. This is an album that I've on my want list for a long time. This is LA's thrash metal band Steel Vengeance. And if I'm not mistaken, this features my buddy Glenn Rogers on guitar right there. There's Glenn, which is, I mean, besides the fact that I like the music a lot. Glenn has just been a friend of mine for, I don't know, going on 20 years now, and so anything by him I'm always looking for, and this is just one that has eluded me. It's hard to find here, you know, decent copies, because it's on the very collectible Black Dragon record, so it just rarely shows up in the United States. So really glad to have it. Again, there's the Black Dragon center ring. Someone asked me why I say center ring instead of center label. I don't know. It's the same difference. You know what it is. Yes. U.D.O. Time Bomb. U.D.O. Time Bomb. Of course, I had this on CD. I've had it on CDs for years since it came out. I don't believe this was ever released in the United States on vinyl, so finding it on vinyl was difficult. This is a German RCA pressing. So straightforward German heavy metal. I mean, if you know Accept, you pretty much know U.D.O. It's similar sound. Great stuff. That was, I believe, the third album from U.D.O. Yes, this is awesome. Now, this one I don't think I knew about. This is definitely a surprise. So, but this is Thrash Metal 2. This is Golem by Protector. This is a high roller pressing. Again, just not one that I had, and I do like this band. So I haven't heard this particular album, but if I'm not mistaken, it's just raw aggressive thrash metal. I don't really think they changed their sound much. Can't even tell you what the year was on this one, but let's see, maybe on here. But it's not on the back here. Oh, 1988. So there you go, 1888. It's got that kind of 1988 airbrushed cover too, which is fun. I like stuff like that. I mean, I know people think it's a lot of the 80s stuff is cheesy, but I liked it. Yep, another one that was just long time missing out of my collection. Finding an original pressing of this has just been impossible. And it is not their best album, but it is definitely a good album. There's a little note in here. I'm going to remove it so you can see the cover. But this is an original pressing from 1988, and it's a French pressing, according to his note. Iron Maiden. No Prayer for the Dying. No, it's not their best album, but it is a decent album from them. It is a good album from them, actually. I don't know. For me, Maiden didn't really have a bad album. I even love stuff like The X Factor, which a lot of people didn't like. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people slag on this album, but I think it's a solid album. It's just straightforward, you know, 80s heavy metal. A little less commercial sounding than the albums that preceded it. Seemed like they were trying to get back to a heavier sound here, and like I said, I kind of dig it. So it's Maiden. So I mean, if you like Maiden, I don't see why you wouldn't like No Prayer for the Dying. And it looks like there is 1, 2, 3 more here. Oh, got another surprise I didn't know about in here. 2 more surprises I didn't know about in here. VOIVOD, KATORZ. This is a great album. This is with Jason Newsted on bass, and I didn't have this on vinyl. I had it on CD since the day it came out. When it came out, man, I listened to this thing over and over and over again because it was a real return to that kind of progressive thrash that they were known for. And real excited to have this on vinyl and give it a fresh spin because it's been a while since I've heard it. Canadian band, VOIVOD. And if you're into progressive rock, you might dig VOIVOD. The early albums, maybe not. Their very early 80s albums were really raw, aggressive, almost thrash. But as they progressed, they got more and more progressive. And once they got into the mid-80s and into the 90s, it was more of like a progressive rock than it was anything else. So, all right, we got 2 more here. This is a... I'm just going to take it out of the plastic so you can see it much better. This is awesome. This is IDOLATRY by Devastation. This is grade A thrash metal. Fantastic band. For some reason, when I think of this band, I think of Believer. I don't know why. I don't think they toured together or anything. Just for some reason, and maybe the sound is a little bit similar in that they're both kind of, especially on this album, they're a little more technical, and they have kind of those. I wouldn't call this band a Christian band by any stretch, but they have those kind of Bible-based lyrics and socially conscious lyrics, kind of like Believer did. So really fantastic stuff. And I believe this was either, I think it was maybe their 3rd album, IDOLATRY. Might have been their 2nd. I don't know, I'm mixing them up in my head right now. But regardless, fantastic album from them. This is it's in a shrink wrap, as you can see, but it's a die-cut album cover. That's fantastic. I love artwork like that. I mean, this is something that you probably just wouldn't see much today, just because it's such an expensive process to do. But back in the day, this was, stuff like this, or like Foghat Live had a really cool cutout with the word live cut out and the band's photos inside and stuff like that. Now this is one you want to keep the shrink wrap on. Why? Because it protects the album from being mangled. Same thing with my Fall Cat album. I intend to take the shrink wrap off, but I won't take it off that one. There's the centering on that one. I can't tell. It feels like a recent pressing because it's pretty heavy. I don't see a year on here of a repressing, but strictly limited, only 500 copies, 250 black, 250 yellow splatter. This is black, which is fine with me. I prefer black myself. Complete with enhanced artwork and specially die-cut jacket, remastered, disavowed. I still don't see a year on here anywhere when this thing was re-released. Regardless, awesome. All right, last one is a classic that I've had it on CD forever. Finding a vinyl copy has just been difficult, so really glad to have this reissue. Heavy Load. This is classic early 80s heavy metal. If you are into, you know, metal history at all, if you like the old stuff, you know, the whole new wave of British heavy metal and all that stuff from back in the early 80s, Heavy Load is a band you got to check out. They are a, I believe, Swedish band. I don't know why I always mix up Sweden and Switzerland for some reason. In my mind, I always get mixed up, but pretty sure they're from Sweden. And again, just straightforward heavy metal. They had several albums out, but classic live photos inside, more live photos in the back. There's actually a double record. Looks like there's a CD in here too. Yep, there is. Bonus tracks on the CD, so it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 unreleased bonus tracks on the CD. Defying the powers of the Dark Sea, the unreleased tracks. So there you go. That is my, oh wait, something else fell out here. Oh, and a little Creator EP as well. So there you go. That is my video from Jürgen from Germany. Okay, I got excited because I'm actually, first of all, I got hot, so I took my jacket off. Second of all, I got excited because the battery was dying on my camera, so I was like trying to hurry up in the end, and I totally forgot to show the 2 t-shirts that he sent, and I still don't know what they are because they're inside out. Well, no, they're not inside out. I just didn't see it until just now. This is awesome. One of my all-time favorite German bands, Accuser. This is fantastic. The Forlorn Divide shirt, that's fantastic. Love it. I'm a huge Accuser fan, so. And then the second shirt, this one definitely is inside out. Yeah, this one's inside out. And I'm thinking it's going to be a Repent shirt because I'm pretty sure he told me he was going to send me a Repent shirt. So, yeah, right on. Repent. Condemned to Fail. Front and back. Still thrashing against stupidity. Right on. Fantastic. Established in 1992, which is funny because that is the exact same year that my band Ultimatums was formed in 1992. So, fantastic. Anyhow, just wanted to add that on real quick so you guys can see the shirt that he sent me. That's it. God bless. Stay strong.